Hello, my name is Jared Fortney. I'm a Group Networks consultant. Today we're going to do a tutorial on how to get started in Primavera P6. The topics that we're going to discuss are the toolbars, opening an existing layout, customizing layouts, and we're going to briefly talk about some of the wizards and show an example. So let's go ahead and start with the first item, which is toolbars. You'll find them under the view menu. You'll see that there's 7 or 8 of them: navigation bar button text, the directory button text, and the status bar. Now there's 2 of them that are grayed out, and that's because they don't really apply to anything unless you have a project open and there are activities, and I'll show you that in a moment. So the first one we're gonna turn off is the navigation bar, which is at the top here, and when we turn that off, you'll see that this navigation bar at the top will go away. The navigation bar has your help, your directory, which is to the left here. Hitting that will make your directory go away and reappear. You can also click home at any time, but we happen to be at home right now, so it's grayed out. So we went to projects and we clicked home. We would come back here to the home screen. Okay, we go to the next toolbar. That only works if this navigation bar is visible. If you turn that off, you'll see that this doesn't work. It may be X'd or checked here, but it basically means that it's no longer affecting the view. So what we'll do is turn the navigation bar back on, and what we're going to do is turn that navigation bar button text off. And what it's going to do is remove the text underneath of these buttons, and it's going to make them smaller and more streamlined. And once you've been in the software long enough, you'll memorize what those buttons mean, and then this option will it will be a little more interesting to you. Similarly, the directory, which is over here, it works the same way. If you turn this off, you get the small buttons, which is useful when you're fighting in here for space. You have lots of activities and Gantt chart, and maybe a resource chart at the bottom. You've got all kinds of stuff going on. You're fighting for space. These things are very helpful. So we'll turn that back on. Now the other one that works from a generic screen like this, and I mean generic by in a screen where you don't have an actual project open, is the status bar. And so you'll see how that works in just a moment. So let's go ahead and open a project, and I'll show you how the rest of that is going to work. We'll open Harbor Point. Sorry, it's just a habit. And now when we go back to our view layout, we'll go to Toolbars, and you'll see that those options that we had before, the activity toolbar and the status bar, are now they actually work now. So the activity toolbar, you'll see, will go away, whereas when we didn't have a project opened, this was grayed out and was not an option. So you'll see at the top here, when I click activity toolbar, that all of these come up. Now these are very useful, and once again, as you start to use the software more and more, you'll memorize these. But you'll also see that when you mouse over them, that the text for them pops up. So all very useful stuff to have right there. But once again, when you're fighting for space here, you have lots of stuff going on. You'll find that streamlining these is very helpful. So you can hide that, and you can go ahead and hide the directory, and you'll see that you have a full screen now. We'll go ahead and turn this back on. Should help us navigate. And the next thing we're going to discuss is opening an existing layout. Now, an existing layout can come from two sources. Primavera comes with some canned layouts, and I mean canned meaning that these layouts come with the software. There are ones that you would use on a regular basis, a 2-week look ahead, activity code review. You might want to see the current baseline, current versus baseline schedule analysis. I like to use the classic WBS layout because I really like to create the WBS and stick to it. Multiple float paths. So these are all things that most users would use, regularly, and they've put these in for you from the beginning. So let's go ahead and apply the WBS. And you'll see in the background there that it jumped around, and that what you're seeing is the work breakdown structure being emulated here. So every activity will be inside of its WBS band here. So we click on the go over here and look at the WBS. What you'll see is that this WBS is actually being emulated now when you're looking at the activities. Right, Harbor Point, Building 1, Structure, Roof, and Harbor Point, Building 1, Structure, Roof, Envelope. Now, if you want to change the layout, you go to Open again. It'll ask you if you want to save this one. You say no. It's actually a WBS layout, and what we want to look at is the activity layout. So go back to layout and open. No, we don't want to save, and we'll look at a two-week look ahead, which is basically going to show us all the activities that are going to occur in the next 2 weeks. It's very common in scheduling to give your team a schedule that shows what the short-term goals are and what the short-term activities are going to be. So if we were to change this, we could come in here and you'll see this group and sort by. You can change this. This happens to be grouped by WBS level 1. You can change the font and color. We'll go ahead and change this to let's say this is red, and we'll change the font as well, just for fun. We'll do this, and we'll click OK. I use the strict vertical grouping bands very often. Also, if your WBS here is empty, it has no activities in it, you can click this hide if empty, which is also very helpful. So I'm going to click apply, and you're going to see that this highest level, this WBS level 1 band, is going to turn red. And you can see currently green, yellow, blue. So it was green, yellow, and then if you had another hierarchical level below this, it would be blue here. But I'm going to go ahead and click apply, and this is going to turn red. Now you can see red, green, yellow, red, green, yellow. It also shrank the vertical grouping bands, which once again, very helpful when you're trying to cram a bunch of stuff on here. If you let's see, let's go back there and turn that off, and you'll see that these will grow, and they take up more room. Now, if we like this layout, and we like the way that we've customized it, we can do filtering, we can do a number of things to the layout. And in Primavera P6, the layout means everything that all of your settings that you have. It's the WBS, the colors, the fonts, the filters, these activity details. If you've brought, certain tabs up, you'll see codes. It's everything that you see here. Whether you've hidden the the navigation bar, basically it's your preferences for the way you want to see your project. Everything will be recorded, and what you do is you go to View Layout and you can hit Save if you've already saved. If you want to save this existing layout with your changes, or you can click Save As, and that will allow you to name this particular view with all of these specific preferences to, let's say, 2-week look ahead number 2. Now what's really interesting about layouts is you're able to set its scope. So let's say that you have a number of users all updating the same schedule. You might want to make this layout available to all of them. So you can click All Users. You can click Another User, which then opens this field, and then you can pick the specific person that you'd like to share it with. Let's say, for instance, Jeff and I update the schedule constantly, and I have found a really helpful new layout. I want to share it with Jeff, so I would click this and I would share with Jeff. You can also do this at the project level. So you can make a layout specific to a particular project. Now, we currently have Harbor Point open, but if we had multiple projects open right now, when we click that, all those projects would open up. Now the thing about these project specific layouts is that when you save them that way and then you export this, that layout should go with it, opposed to having a layout that's just the current user. That means that whenever you log in as yourself, you'll always see your layouts. So let's go ahead and save this as all users, which means that everyone who uses this installation of Primavera P6 will be able to access this. And you'll click Save. Come back to View Layout, and we'll open. And you'll see these global. This is the scope that I was discussing before. These are the project-specific layouts. So this project, Harbor Point, has one layout that is its layout and nobody else's. Now, when we saved that as all users, it went into the global area, meaning that everyone who logs in will be able to access our new layout, which is 2-week look ahead number 2. So if we click this, you'll see that green color comes back. We'll come back over here, apply our new one. You can see the changes. Now the fourth point we're going to discuss is using wizards. And there's lots of wizards within P6. There's wizards for adding resources. There's wizards for adding activities. Well, the one I'm going to discuss is the wizard that adds a project. So what we want to do is close this project. And we'll hit Close All. And what we'll do is come over here to Projects, and then we'll hit Add. And you'll see that automatically spawns this Create a New Project wizard. Of course, the little wizard wand here tells you that that's a wizard, and this particular wizard will ask you where you would like to put your new project in the enterprise project structure, which is the EPS here. So we'll click Next. We chose the healthcare area, by the way, but in the EPS you could have chosen any area. We could put it in industrial if we want. We'll change that, and we'll call this New Proj 2. That's its unique identifier, like its social security number. And then we will give it an actual name, a longer name, New Project number 2. And this is like its short name, and this is the long description. and we'll click next. The plans start, must finish by, they're not necessary, but you can put those in here. And responsible manager, which we'll discuss later, we'll pick, I believe we picked transfer infrastructure before, so we'll stick with that. And we'll move on. These are, remember, this is a wizard and not all of this stuff is necessary. Project architect is good. If you're utilizing methodology manager, you would be able to go into methodology manager and choose some of the fragnets from methodology manager and implement them into your new schedule. This is the database that you'd like to put it in. We're using this database, Oracle MB, currently. And we'll go ahead and click next. It's loading some data. This is talking about methodologies. Well, this is all because we clicked yes on Project Architect. But if you're not using that, we'll go ahead and click no. We'll move forward, and that'll allow us to finish. And now you will see our new Proj 2 under Industrial. And open that project. You'll see that it's brand new, has no activities. But that's just one example of one of the wizards. There are many of them. They're very helpful, especially as a beginner. So I suggest trying them out. But as you get better and more experienced, you'll find that you can probably do it faster by yourself, or do it to a degree that you prefer. So we are all done here. And once again, my name is Jared Fortney. I'm with GROOKnet, and I will see you in the next lesson. Thanks.